Hello, this is Danny from TND Entertainment. I just got back from seeing episode 1 of season 3 of Star Trek Picard. This is my first impression of it. Well, them at the end of season 2, it seems they scrapped everybody, the whole cast, except for Patrick Stewart and Jerry Ryan. And who they added here was basically the whole cast of The Next Generation. You got Jonathan Frakes, you got Brent Spiner, Gates McFadden, Michael Dorn, LeVar Burton. Everybody else pretty much reprised their role. What did I think of this season? Let's see here. Being that they have Next Generation cast, I think that's something they should have done from the beginning. The new cast members include LeVar Burton's daughter, both of his daughters. They both have roles in this, and that makes it more of a family affair. The plot of this revolves around somebody trying to go around and take out the old crew of the Enterprise. Non-spoiler review of it. It was dark. It didn't have the right aesthetic that Star Trek The Next Generation had. The sets were dark and cinematic, like you were watching a movie, a new Next Generation movie, which would be cool. But this one would be like a 10-hour movie, which I think was a bit too long for a movie. They could probably take all 10 episodes and shrink them down into a 2-hour movie, and you get the same gist, same plot. That's how season 1 and season 2 were. But according to the trailers, I've seen some villains come back, like Lore, which was Data's twin brother. And then you have Moriarty come back, but I don't know how they're going to do Moriarty coming back, because he was just a holodeck image, and that Enterprise was destroyed. Did they happen to take the program with them? I don't know. We'll find out. It looked like Picard and Riker were kind of buddy-buddy with Brent Spiner playing Lore. Last we heard of Lore, he was doing that weird stuff with the Borg faction, and he became their leader.
It's time to close the door on the past and commit yourself to the great work that lies ahead of us.
And ended up becoming disassembled. During Nemesis, we're introduced to B4. B4 was like a very simplistic Data. Well, what happened there? Well, according to Picard season 1, he was disassembled too. So is this really Lore? Or is this B4? Or maybe Lore's memories got downloaded into B4. Well, I guess we'll find out. We start out with this big starship going into space. It's under attack by we don't know who. And people are after this. And we see Beverly Crusher is on there. And Beverly Crusher, Dr. Crusher, she is ready to send out a message. She doesn't know who to trust. She's saying trust no one. So she calls up her friend she hasn't seen in 20 years, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. She sends a message to his comm badge that he wore when he was captain of the Starship Enterprise. Then we flash to Picard doing some spring cleaning on his vineyard, and he hears his old comm badge beeping. He goes to figure out the message. He finds out that it's a message from Crusher with some strange coordinate. Of course, he punches in the coordinates and doesn't come up with anything. So he goes and visits his friend Riker, who was his first officer on the Enterprise. He goes and asks him, and Riker says, "Yeah, well, when you were captured by the Borg, we had there was a little virus that made it add 3. It was some strange thing. I didn't get it myself, but I suppose we had to add 3 to every digit in order to get to the right coordinates, and those coordinates were right at the edge of Federation space. So what do? They decided to commandeer a starship and go out to Federation space. They commandeer the Titan, Riker's old ship, and they get the ship, who's being captained by Captain Shaw, a new character, and the first officer is none other than 7 of 9. 7 of 9 decides it might be a good idea to go on a little adventure. She's a little bored, so she'll go with them. Because it is like a Federation holiday called Frontier Day. She decides to ignore the Shaw's order not to do this, so she does while Shaw's asleep, of course. So they go out to deep Federation space to find Crusher. They find Crusher in a suspended animation. They find out she's still alive. They find the only crewman aboard the ship is this little young man. I guess he's about 21 years old. And they come to the conclusion that must be Crusher's new son. We'll find. Well, anyway, that's my little review of Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 1. Did you see yet? What did you think of it? I thought, like I said, that they could take elements of each one and probably put it down into a big Next Generation movie, but since it's streaming, they're probably not going to do that because they can get a lot more money if they just have it as episodic. How's this rate with the rest of the new Star Trek? Well, Discovery sucked. I gotta tell you, Discovery sucks. It's terrible. I wish we would just get rid of it. Picard 1 and 2 weren't that great either. Don't get me started with the Lower Decks. Lower Decks it's like watching Rick and Morty with a Star Trek uniform. Strange New Worlds is probably the best thing ever to come out of New Trek. The rest of it just blows. Anyway, Picard Season 3. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this, and tell me what you think of it. Well, I'm waiting for next week. Maybe I'll put a review out next week too. Until then, this is Danny saying, may the Force live long and prosper with you until all are one. Bye.